Areeeet, going to be taking a look at this assassin build, which I've been having quite a lot of fun with. It's all about being like really stealthy and kind of staying alive and taking out the health bars of the more stronger enemies, so your teammates, you know, they have a bit of an easier time, and you're also getting a lot of assassinations whilst you're doing it. So let's take a look what the gear we're using. We got the water katana, and this is the standard katana that I use on every sort of build, because I don't know, the water stance just seems to be the most effective against every enemy in the game. I got the melee damage and the ultimate damage, so when I do pop the ultimate, which I'm not using as much in this build, but when I do use it, you know, it's just got that little bit of extra damage. And then water master, so when we use our surgeon strikes, which if you're new to the game is when you hold triangle and tap triangle 4 times, it just becomes even more powerful. And this is the attack that I use pretty much against every enemy. It just seems to work. I don't know why, but it seems to be the most effective stance. Alright, then we got the blowgun, stealth attack damage, status effect damage, and hallucination darts. So stealth attack damage, really important on this build. You want to have enough stealth attack damage. Oh, it's going to be like a tongue twister saying that over and over. You want to have enough stealth attack damage to be able to take out the enemies who you usually wouldn't be able to. Usually it would say critical strike, and that's a problem. Like the enemies with the spears, those enemies with like the guns, I don't know what you call them, you know, they fire like the gunpowder. That you can just literally take them out one shot if you have enough stealth attack damage, which is going to proc your chain vanish, which we'll get onto in a second. Status effect damage, you can kind of use anything you want in this second one. I personally don't know what to use in this, because I mean stealth doesn't really do that much. The status effect damage is kind of affecting the blowguns like poison. I use the poison quite a lot to get the stag out of the teleport archers down in nightmare mode, because if you hit them with a couple poison, when you finally go up to them and attack them with your surgeon strikes, your water katana move, then the stagger bar just goes down instantly, and then they can't teleport away, so you can get off a lot more damage with this. Whereas opposed to duration, I don't really need the duration, I just need to be doing more damage really. And then hallucination darts. This is always good fun, especially on the boss waves and nightmare. You can hallucinate the bears, which is really handy. I like to do that, and then they just kind of tear apart the enemies. So we got the assassin charm, once again stealth attack damage, and I'm using damage increase. You can go for anything you want on this one really, maybe cooldown reduction on kill. If you're using toxic vanish, maybe toxic vanish radius to get that stagger damage. But yeah, for me, I went damage increase, which is linked with the spirit kunai, which I'll talk about in a sec, which is why I've got damage increase on basically. And then once again stealth attack damage and chain vanish. So chain vanish is when we assassinate an enemy, we go back into vanish. Depending on whether you use chain vanish in the technique, you got group vanish and toxic vanish. If you use group vanish, which I am using, this actually resets it for the whole team. So you got a bit more defensive things going on there. So you know, if you're in trouble, you get an assassination, you can actually hide your whole team. So you can just, you know, think for a second and chill out. All right, and then we got spirit kunai, melee damage, damage increase, and supermassive. So the reason I have damage increase on the assassin charm is to proc this legendary buff. So getting a kill with kunai lowers all your cooldown on your character by 15 seconds. So I want to be getting as much damage as I can out of this, because it's very important to reduce the cooldown of all my abilities basically. Smoke bomb and the chain vanish. Really important to get, well, don't know what happened to my voice there. Really important to get those cooldowns reduced as much as possible, which is why I'm using the spirit kunai, and also why I have the damage increase on the assassin charm there. And then we got smoke bomb, once again stealth attack damage, cooldown reduction on kills, so we're just getting it back all that much faster, especially with the 15 seconds. If we can get a kill, and then that's another, what, 3.7, basically 4 seconds on top of that, you know. so it's 19 seconds each time we get a kill with this. So it's a really fast cooldown. And then on the sudden resolve, after I use my ultimate, I usually use my ultimate just to get the health bars of the enemies that I can't one-shot with the assassinate. I use my ultimate to get these down. And then once I've used my ultimate, I'll smoke bomb, and I've got that first resolve back, and then I can also assassinate the enemies that I've just hit with the ultimate, which is kind of how I'm using this build. And let's take a look at the techniques. So we're using group vanish. This is just a bit more of a defensive one, so you know my teammates have a bit more cover. You can go toxic vanish and get that stagger damage on the enemies, but I think I prefer group vanish. I have critical hit, so 30% more damage during assassinations. If you take this off, you won't be getting the one shots on those enemies with like spears and such. You can opt in for this one and not use your ultimate as often, and just save the resolve for, you know, really powerful hits on people. But I prefer this one. The way I'm kind of using it is I want to be able to get the health bar down far enough so that when I use the group vanish, I don't have to worry about this. I can just get a kill and it'll reset. I'm experienced assassin, so stealth attacks are faster and quieter. I mean, this is kind of a no-brainer for me. I don't really use the stag, like, if they're staggered, I'm just gonna kind of wail on them with the water katana. So I don't really want to use this one. And when you're on the point and you're getting these assassinations, you know, especially in Nightmare with the arrows, if you're outside the ring and you go for an assassination and the arrows target you, you're instantly dead. I can guarantee it, because the animation just isn't fast enough. Whereas if you go and assassinate someone with this on, by the time the assassination's actually finished, you have enough time to dodge roll out of the arrows that will target you. But yeah, if you're on gold, silver, or bronze, you know, you can try this out, but I would recommend this. And then for the final perk, we got Chain Vanish. So this is also activating on top of our Assassin Charm Chain Vanish. So instead of just reactivating twice, it reactivates 3 times, which is really helpful. And once again, because we're using group vanish, you know, it will reactivate it for everyone else in the group. If you're more of a fan of using the ultimate, you can definitely go for Shadow Storm. I just wanted to use this build as more of like a stealthy assassin, which is why I'm going for that Chain Vanish perk. But yeah, let me know if you have any improvements or recommendations to help me out, or whether you want to try out this build. And yeah, I hope it goes well if you do. I've got some gameplay, which I'll leave in the description, just the last 10 waves of the new Nightmare Survival. Yeah, check that out if you can kind of see how I'm playing it. It's got a bit of commentary, so I'm telling you like what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, sort of thing. So yeah, check that out if you're interested in this build, and thank you for watching.